Here is an EOA Live LeGrand story.
The Liberty Theater in downtown LeGrand, which is undergoing renovation, is making some improvements. Earlier this week, we were taken on a tour and updated on their current construction projects.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley O'Toole, speaking here to you today on behalf of the Liberty Theater Foundation. I'm here at 1010 Adams Avenue, the historic Liberty Theater, and we're super excited to take everybody on a tour today. We want to show you what we've been up to in the last 6 months, year or so since the last time we saw you, and what's in store. So wanted to get the tour started kind of on the outside because, as some have noticed, there has been improvements done to the outside of the building. We'll start with this brick. This blonde brick, it was actually, we're so lucky that this brick came from Central Elementary School here in LeGrand. During the demolition, we were able to salvage and really score a lot of brick. You can see we still have more left over for future uses. So a lot of folks that are from LeGrand and went to Central Elementary School, it's still standing here a little bit in front of the Liberty Theater, and we'll use it throughout other areas of the exterior as well. A little bit later on our tour, we're actually going to stop by the steel shop where work has already begun on the large canopy. Where I'm standing, we're going to be underneath a very large canopy here actually pretty soon. So we'll show you how construction's progressing on that. And we'll go inside. Come on in. This door is right where the box office is going to be. So if you come in here a little bit more and turn around, I'll show you here. You can see where the header is. That's where our double doors are going to be. There's going to be a pair of double doors on either side of the box office, right where our door is here. So it's going to look like a really beautiful and historic and kind of just that classic vaudeville look of a theater this size with the box office out front. You're standing in the lobby. We're standing in the lobby here right now. We're about to we're going to put our bathroom over here. It is a historical theater. It is a historical preservation project, but of course there's a balance to maintain with modern codes and laws and ADA compliance and things like that. So we will have an ADA accessible bathroom here, as well as bringing back to life our bathrooms on the second floor. You can see the walls here already framed in and put up. This is the wall that is going to divide our lobby with our auditorium. We could probably start walking into the auditorium if you'd like. So when this is all said and done, you'll walk through some curtains here, and then after another couple of steps, you'll be taking a few steps down onto the auditorium floor. Again, for ADA compliance and because we need a sound booth, light tech booth, we would also be making a left turn here to stay on the platform. You can kind of see through the wall here. Where I'm standing is approximately going to be where the sound booth, light booth are going to be, with some ADA kind of wheelchair parking spaces on either side of those. And then of course folks sitting in the main auditorium will go down the steps and enjoy all the seating down there. Not to mention the seating upstairs. But if you pan to the right, this is what it's going to look like when you're the sound guy at the Liberty Theater. It looks a lot different from the last time a lot of the public has seen this theater. There's no longer a false floor. 6 months ago or more, 7, 8 months ago maybe, there was actually a false floor here. You didn't see this auditorium floor at all, the ramped floor. We had a level floor going all the way across to the stage. It's where, remember the days of having direct music source over here, the EOU Mountaineer bookstore over here, the stage door theater in the back. It's all been demolished, it's all been opened up, and that's what a lot of 2018 was spent doing. If you remember, day after day, week after week, month after month, dumpsters out in front of the Liberty Theater, that's what we were up to. We had a lot of demolition work to do to just open this up to get back to the shell of the theater that we're going to begin working on and preserving as well as restoring. So we can go down and take a walk down into the auditorium now. I want to show you guys a few other cool things. So one of the things that we certainly want to emphasize to the viewers, the public who haven't been in here in a while, is that this isn't just a historical restoration project. It's a historical preservation project. And to my left here is a great example of what we're talking about. If you see here, we're actually looking at 3 different eras of the interior of the Liberty Theater. They've been exposed here. You can see where the original brick is. Look at that wallpaper. If you can get a detail of that wallpaper at all, that wallpaper is over 100 years old. We've got 1910s, 1920s, and then this plaster here is 1930s. Folks, it is going to look a lot like this when you're coming in here for your events. We are preserving the look of this theater. We want the viewer, the audience member, to, of course, enjoy the show on stage, whether it's music, any sort of curations and live events. But we also, there's also going to be really something to be said about transporting those moviegoers of today into a sort of a time capsule, sort of an environment where they can feel like they're maybe transported back in time a little bit. We've been working very closely with the Oregon SHPO office. That's the State Historic Preservation Office. They have a lot of oversight on this project. They're full of do's and don'ts of what we can do to preserve and restore and find the balance in between the two. So we're excited to keep working with them and keep them happy, and we're really moving along on finding a way to get this theater open while also preserving the history. So I'm standing here on the stage of the Liberty Theater now, looking out towards the auditorium. We're really excited to show you guys the depth of the theater. Now that all this demolition work is done, you can really see how far back this theater goes, how tall it is inside. Way back there is the projection room, back when, of course, this was a movie house for many of the years of its life. The projection room was up there. It's a great sounding room. We actually just had our architect, John Kvapel of DKA Architecture, came and visited us just about a week and a half ago, and it was his first time on site in some time after a lot of the demolition work as well. We were all just so excited to show him the progress so far, and he was excited to hear how great it sounds in here. The acoustics in this building are alive and well. If you're picking it up on the microphone or not, I don't know, but it just sounds great in here. And there's also not a bad seat in the house. It's just big enough. We're going to be able to fit around 350 people in here when it's open and the balcony is open. But it's also just small enough that you're still going to feel close to the act. You're still going to feel like there's not a bad seat in the house, because there's really not a bad seat in the house. In the immediate future, we're not planning on doing anything with the fly loft. If you feel like you can look up there, that really tall fly loft, that is where backdrops and screens and curtains all hang out, and then of course drop down as needed for live theater performances and things. The first iteration of what we're doing here, we're not going to be having live theater performances of that scale. It's going to be a while before we do that, but we are going to have the fly loft operating to a point where we can have a movie theater screen and some curtains and things and acting as a backdrop. Also coming to the Liberty Theater is a 2019 version of lights and sound. We're going to have great LED, energy efficient lighting system, all computerized. We're going to have a great modern sound system. That's not something where we have to worry about preservation, thank goodness. So we're also going to have modern technology here helping to make the shows look real good and sound real good. So here we are on the second floor, the mezzanine level. We've just come up the stairs from the lobby. This is where folks will come to use the bathroom here before heading to the balcony seats. I also wanted to show you this room here, sort of a lounge of sorts. Part of our plan right now that we're talking about, we realize that this wall is not original. We're not required to keep it for preservation purposes. So we've got a leading idea right now of removing a lot of this wall. And if you follow me into the room here, so the story goes, this room, when this theater was happening, and this room wasn't so closed in, this was a room where there was a lot of wheeling and dealing in LeGrand. A lot of folks coming in here smoking their cigars, making the bigger transactions to help LeGrand become a great place in the early 1900s. We want to preserve that. We want to bring back that sort of era and aesthetic. So this is going to be kind of a mezzanine lounge for folks to hang out in during shows, during intermissions, and that sort of thing. If we come out this way, here's one of our bathrooms. Doesn't look like a bathroom at all yet, but we're going to have two fixtures in each of these two bathrooms up here. And of course, when you're done using the bathroom, you'll come into the balcony and look at the show. So here we are on the balcony now. As I said earlier down on the stage, there's really not a bad seat in the house, but I would argue the best seat in the house is probably this one right here, the bottom row of the balcony, and you can see the view that you would get here. These are probably going to be the most premium seats in the house. You've got a great unobstructed view of the stage. The sound system, the lights, they're almost going to be like they were put in for you when you're sitting here at these seats. So we're really excited to get this balcony restored and up and running again. And as you can see behind you, there's quite a few seats up here. And we have less work to do up here as well when it comes to the restoration or preservation. You can see a lot of the beautiful carpet is still here, the handrails, the aisles. Really all we need to do is get a little bit of this cleaned up, put in some seats. There's more to it than that. But it is going to look really good when this is finished as well. And even from the back row of the balcony, I wouldn't say there's anything nosebleedy about those back rows. They're still going to be great seats as well. If you look straight above you here, some folks have seen this before. That's where the chandelier is going to go. Our chandelier was masterfully restored. It is back in our hands. One of the final kind of finishing touches here as part of this preservation project is hanging the chandelier again. And that'll be done after we finish the ceiling and repaint the crown of the theater and make it all look really good for you guys. So as you kind of have heard me explain, we're finding that balance between preservation and restoration. So some of these projects like restoring the chandelier, restoring the paint, refinishing the ceiling, that's more of the restoration side. We want there to be good lighting and we don't want the ceiling to come down on you. But we also are going to be preserving as much history as possible, like we talked about with the different layers of history there on the auditorium walls. So we're back downstairs in the lobby again. You can see our stairs here. Probably a good time to give a shout out to Quiet Life Construction, Dan Davenport and the crew. We've been so excited to have them on board. They've certainly shown a lot of pride in the work they're doing for us here at the Liberty. And everything that you see here as far as all this new construction I've been showing you today with the framing walls and the floor and the facade work and things like that, we can really thank Quiet Life Construction and the work they've done, the work they've helped manage and coordinate. I wanted to show you though a little bit of some plans here so we can give you guys sort of an idea of what the lobby might look like. Don't hold me to this, we're still kind of working on some fine tuning here. But you can see the front of the theater as we walk into our 2 double doors. There's our box office. And as we come in, here's our larger lobby that we're currently standing in, and our wall to the auditorium. Now in a few minutes we're going to head over to a steel shop and take a look at where our canopy is being built. And I wanted to show everyone kind of the level of detail that we're taking this project. Here's a great picture of the canopy. We have gotten a handle on these glass panels that you can see here. And we've gotten a handle on these metal, what are called florets. I'm holding one right here. Boom, 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 boom. So we are really taking the time and going through the pains of trying to bring Le Grand a theater that looks just like it used to as much as possible. So we're really excited that we were able to locate these and the glass. And I think now's a good time to head over to that steel shop and see how the canopy's doing. All right, so we're here, we're still in Le Grand, and we're at the steel shop, the fab shop, where the canopy is currently under construction. I showed you a little bit ago those little pieces of glass that are gonna be hanging down from underneath. I have one of the originals from the original canopy. It's gonna be used as sort of a way to measure out how the steelworkers are gonna be putting these back together again, essentially. But this whole big mamma jamma is the canopy. Feel free to look how big this thing is. 38 feet long, bigger than the shop. Sticking out of the shop there for a little ways. 38 feet long and about 6 foot 2 inches wide, or off the building. It's going to be hung with a couple of really heavy duty chains. Those things are going to be attached to the canopy with heavy duty steel. This thing is going to be big, it is going to be heavy, and it is going to be beautiful. To give you sort of an orientation here, we're standing underneath the canopy. Underneath here is Adams Avenue, facing Adams Avenue, whereas this is one side of the Liberty Theater, and that's the other side of the Liberty Theater down there. So the glass will kind of be hanging down about like this. And those florets I showed you back at the theater, those florets are going to be on the underside of this, the Adams Avenue side of this. So it's big, it's really heavy, and we're excited to get some progress done on it. And it will be not complete, but the framework here, a lot of what you're seeing will be hanging on the front of the Liberty Theater this year. So we're pretty excited about that aspect of the project as well. So thanks for coming out to the Steel Shop. All right, so we're standing out here in front of the Liberty Theater again, and we want to say thank you to LeGrand Alive, Eastern Oregon Alive TV for asking us to give you guys the inside scoop of what's going on here with our theater lately. We definitely want to say thank you, of course, to so many of our donors, our private donors, our public donors, our grantors. You can see behind us one of our more recent grants we were awarded was from the LeGrand Main Street, the Oregon Main Street folks, giving us a $100,000 grant. That money has already been bookmarked. That's going to pay for most of our sprinkler system, as a matter of fact. We've got some other big projects here ahead of us, like the HVAC system, like new wiring, new plumbing, some of that basic infrastructure. That's what's on deck next here at the Liberty Theater. So if you don't see a lot of framing or finish work progress here for a little bit, it's because we got a lot of that stuff going on inside the walls here we got to get done first. So again, thank you. I'm Ashley O'Toole with the Liberty Theater Foundation. Again, thanks for watching.